What's going on, guys? Welcome to my laundry room. This is where our washer and dryer are. Now, a lot of folks saw the Instagram post where I showed that we upgraded to these new GE Ultrafresh washer and dryer units. The reason I'm showing this is because after I posted the Instagram video, a lot of people wanted to know more about these. So, I'm going to try to do a little review on them. We've had an opportunity to use them pretty extensively so far in the last week we've had them. So, hope you enjoy this video. I'll be right back. Alright guys, so these are the new GE washer and dryer. I don't really know if I should call them both Ultrafresh units simply because the washer is the Ultrafresh vent system unit, whereas the dryer I think is more of a standard dryer. But there's a lot of cool technology behind these. Now, we replaced a set of Samsung washer and dryers that we purchased about 8 years ago. Front-loading washer and dryers. The heating element in it, well, I thought it was the heating element, but it ended up being the main board that drives everything, went out on it twice. Replaced it after about 5 years and then had to replace it again after 2 years. And once that happened, we're like, you know what, let's just not get these anymore because obviously that board is something that goes out frequently. Now, I tried to replace it actually a third time and I ordered one, but it didn't work. I've replaced everything inside of it, from the heating elements to the thermostat to the relay and the breaker. Everything inside of it has been replaced and it still doesn't work, and they no longer make the board for it, which is kind of odd because they're both relatively new units. When I say they're 8 years old, they look like they're brand new front-loading units, complete with pedestals. So we ended up getting rid of them, going to these GE units. Now, these are kind of an interesting product, simply because almost everybody carries them. Lowe's, Home Depot, the appliance stores locally. We have another place called Conn's locally that carries them, and nobody really has a lot of information about them. So I went to the internet and I started looking at reviews, and there were a lot of reviews, and largely the reviews were very, very positive. Now, the thing that makes these stand out and different from other front-loading units is this really interesting front door area. This is called the Ultrafresh vent system for a reason. This area right here actually draws in air from your laundry room. They call it fresh air. It pulls air in after you're done washing clothes, and it circulates it around the seal. So traditionally on a front-loading washing machine, you have to keep the door propped open, or you have to keep the seal cleaned very well and dry, otherwise you can start developing mold and mildew. And you're supposed to do that every month. You're supposed to clean the seal out, dry it off really well every month, keep the door propped open when you're done, and we did that. But for the most part, it wasn't really effective. It did help, but you would still occasionally get kind of that fungusy smell inside there, so we'd have to do a deep clean and really get in there with cleaning solvents to clean it out. Well, when the heating element went out in our dryer, we decided just to replace the whole unit and give something different an opportunity. Now, Samsung and LG largely dominate the washer and dryer market, and they do so because they really put out some really impressive machines in terms of features, capabilities, and capacities. What I like about this system is it really challenges Samsung in terms of capacity, but they've also added technology that previously you could really only get with the Samsung unit. So, let me explain what's different about these. Alright, so dimensionally speaking, these are much larger than the Samsung units that we had. The Samsung washer we had was 3.7 cubic feet. The Samsung dryer we had was 7 cubic feet. Now, this one is 5 cubic feet versus 3.7, and that is 7.8 cubic feet versus 7 cubic feet. So, these things are huge. They're about 2 inches wider. Samsung's were 27 inches wide. These are closer to 29 inches wide each, and they're about 4 inches taller. We actually had to modify the top of the cabinets here, at least the bottom of the cabinets here, in order to allow these to slide in. In the past, we had about 3 inches of clearance above the Samsung units, even with the pedestals, to fit them under the cabinets. Now, with these units on the pedestals, they don't naturally fit back there. Price-wise, I think these have an MSRP of about $1,200 each. We got them on sale, which of course you all know appliance stores sell everything on sale all the time. But we got these units at right around $950 to $1,000 a piece. So they are relatively pricey. They are definitely on the upper scale of front-load washer and dryers. They do have a lot of the standard features that you see on most of your higher-end front-load washer and dryers, such as steam. GE calls theirs power steam, and then the dryer does have a steam feature as well. I believe this has 12 wash cycles to it, and the dryer also has 12 dry cycles to it, so they have a setting for just about everything. So first and foremost, the one really big thing I want to point out is the fact that this GE washer has a 10-year warranty on it, and that warranty does cover the parts that broke on my Samsung washer. So basically the Samsung washer with the main board going out on it would be covered under the 10-year warranty that GE has on their washer, and that's awesome. Comparatively speaking, the Samsung washer has a 1-year warranty, so that's a big perk of the GE over the Samsungs that we had. Alright, so here's a big one as well. This lining material right here is called Microban. This is an antimicrobial lining that is actually resistant to any type of mold or mildew. So that is really cool. This kills germs. It's supposed to do all sorts of cool stuff. They not only have it here, but they also line the seal of the door with it as well. So if I opened it, if it wasn't in a cycle right now, you would actually see that same material lining the entire seal, which is really awesome. But what I really like are the features that you can get on here that you would traditionally only be able to find on a Samsung or LG washer, and some of the features that this has that they don't even have. First of all, they're both Wi-Fi, so you can connect to them using the GE application, which we downloaded. Not the most user-friendly application, but at least you don't have to use the Bixby application from a Samsung-specific phone to work with your washer-dryer unit like you would be required to a Samsung. I do like the fact that LG uses the Google application, which is nice and it's more universal. But through the GE application, which you can download on Android or iOS, you can access your washer and dryer via Wi-Fi. You can set it, you can do the delay wash, all of that, plus get notifications when they're done. I also like that this has a really cool feature built into it called Ultrafresh. Again, the Ultrafresh is the ability for it to draw air in and dry off that seal, so you don't have to leave the door open and you don't have to constantly clean that seal out or dry it. And the way that works is when you're done washing, you simply press the Ultrafresh vent and it puts it into this vent mode. You can hear it beeping while it does it, and it again pulls it in, uses a sensor to determine when it's dry, and then it shuts off, which is really nice. Another really cool feature of this washer is the fact that it has a one-step wash-dry feature. So the washer itself, if you throw small garments in, if you throw pillowcases, things like that, it can actually wash and also dry those articles without having to move them to the dryer. You can't use it on full loads and you can't use it on large loads at all. It's really only for small things. Let's say you have a couple shirts or something that you need to wash for a trip. You throw them in, put that feature on, and it will wash and dry it all in the washing machine. Now, it doesn't actually use hot air. At least that's what it says. It draws air in and it uses outside air to dry it. We haven't had an opportunity to try that yet, but I'm really interested to see how effective that is. Also, the other thing that we really like about this unit is the fact that it has this smart dispense feature. Now that is super cool. Basically, you have a container that can hold up to 50 ounces of detergent. So you fill this up with whatever your favorite detergent is, and when you close it, you set it for Smart Dispense. On Smart Dispense, it will tell you how many loads you have left based on how much you filled that up, and you don't have to pour detergent in. It automatically dispenses the correct amount of detergent depending on the type of cycle you're using, and then of course when it runs out you can add more to that and start over again. So if you're going to be washing multiple loads back to back, that gives you the ability to do it all from one fill up. You don't have to constantly be filling it up to do it. Now, you are likely to have to put more bleach or more softener or more detergent in if you are going to be doing different types of loads. Let's say you have a baby and you have to use Dreft, or you have to use some type of a sensitive detergent. Well, you would pour that in here, you would turn off Smart Dispense, and it would use whatever you pour in as opposed to the reservoir that has, you know, the main detergent that you use for most of your loads. So that's kind of cool. Now, the feature that I really like that this does, and we didn't even know our Samsung was capable of doing it until everything messed up on us and I saw that Samsungs are capable of this. but it's an extended spin cycle. So you can turn off the rinse and spin cycle and you can put it just on spin. On this one, the way you would do it is you'd go to your spin feature here. Well, first of all, you'd go to rinse and spin, and then you would essentially turn off the extra rinse and it would just be spin. So now you have the ability for it just to go into a spin cycle without adding more water to it. It's simply going to spin it and drain any excessive moisture out, so you can get them as dry as possible before you transfer them over to your dryer. Now let's take a look inside of this thing so you can see just how big it is. What's really cool is the use of LEDs. Our Samsung unit did not have an illuminated drum, so it was really dark in here all the time, and you can just see how bright and lit up that is. That is the washing machine. I don't know what's in the dryer, but we're about to find out. So it looks like we have sheets in here, and this thing is huge, and it is also LED lit. Plus it has a very, very large capacity dust catch. I mean, it folds in half and then you unfold it and it catches a lot of lint. So they've done a great job there. Now that I've talked about the washer so much, let's talk about the dryer. Something that's really nice about the dryer is you have this washer link. So when it's in washer link mode, it automatically speaks to the washer to determine whatever cycle you were in, and it automatically sets the dryer for the best appropriate cycle to dry the clothes based on however you had it in the washer. So that's really cool. So there's good technology across both of them. And again, they're both Wi-Fi enabled, so you can know when your loads are done and when you need to put more laundry in. Also, we got the pedestals. These have that really nice matted blue look to them, which is really nice. But the pedestals on these are significantly taller than our Samsung pedestals were, and that's the main reason why we can't fit it under our cabinet without the cabinets being modified. But the pedestals are very large. They are the type that roll in and out, of course, just like all pedestals. But I think this set looks absolutely fantastic. Still haven't peeled the tape off of there because these are pretty much brand new. Now, from a washing perspective, it does a really good job. Just the fact that it is a 5 cubic foot interior really lets you load this thing up more than we were ever able to with our Samsung. It's also very quiet, and it doesn't vibrate as much as our Samsungs did whenever it was going into a spin cycle and it was trying to balance itself out. So we're really happy with that. The dryer is also really quiet, even though right after installing the dryer, it was making this weird kind of a belt rubbing noise. It would go around and you'd kind of hear it go click, click, click. After 5 minutes of running it, they told us to run it for 20 minutes when we first got it, but after 5 minutes that went away. Now you can tell it's a very, very quiet dryer. So we've been very impressed with the performance of the washer and dryer so far, and we've ran at least, I'm gonna probably say at least 3 dozen loads through it so far. You'd be surprised how much laundry piles up when your washer and dryer are out of commission. Even though it was just our dryer, we didn't want to wash a bunch of clothes and then have to carry them to a laundromat. So a lot of laundry didn't get done for a while. I think we did make one trip to the laundromat to get the clothes cleaned while we were waiting for these to come in. It took a week for them to come in after we ordered them. So that was the other thing. They didn't stock these at Lowe's or Home Depot, and what I've found out is that they don't stock really any of their higher end units. They only stock some of their more volume selling units, so it did take us a little while to get these. Once they came in, I'm gonna have to give a big thumbs down to the delivery. We had to have 2 delivery crews come out because the first crew forgot everything that needed to go into these to install them, and they refused to wait while somebody delivered it, so we had to reschedule another crew to come out to actually put them in place. So that was a little bit of a negative impression on Lowe's. The second crew that came out was awesome, so I have to give them a thumbs up. First crew, not so much. Anyways, guys, I will give you continuous updates on these if it's something you're interested in. I know a lot of people don't care about this stuff. I know a lot of people were interested and they wanted me to give a review on it. And, you know, no one's going out right now, so I figured, why not? Guys, if you haven't had a chance, I'd appreciate it if you gave me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and we'll talk to you again very soon.